you all so much for showing your support today. First, before I say anything, I want to just acknowledge the privilege I have here on this platform as a white woman. And I want to credit organizers, activists, and scholars that have taught me everything I'm about to say. None of this are my own thoughts. What happened in Atlanta and what's been happening in New York and what's been happening here in the Bay Area, in Oakland and in San Francisco, it's a symptom of a much bigger issue. And right now I really want to direct this conversation to the white folks that are here today, because the bigger problem is white supremacy. That is what we are here to fight against. And there's not one answer to what we can do. There are so many answers to what we can do. The first thing I'll say is that we need to talk to each other and talk to our families and our fellow white people. We need to stop asking people of color these questions. And we need to keep the conversation around white violence. And oftentimes things like these happen and we are always reacting to the violence, and reacting a lot of times in performative ways. But what are we going to do to prevent this from ever happening again? What are we going to do in our communities to stop this from ever becoming something that happens here? And the responsibility is on us as white folks. We are the ones killing innocent people. This is our problem to fix, and it's our responsibility to do everything we can to dismantle white supremacy. And showing solidarity is not enough. We need allyship. We need genuine allies for these communities. And anti-racism is allyship. It's not enough to say you're not racist anymore. You need to be anti-racist, which is not a belief, but a set of actions. It's uncomfortable, it's active, it's constant, and it's a lifelong commitment and practice. And it starts with yourself. We really have to look inwards at ourselves and how we are causing harm, because we all are in our own ways. And we need to focus on what we can do in our community. We can understand our privileges. That's a great start. Understanding the privileges I have as an able-bodied white cis woman standing here. And we need to learn our history and what we have done to these communities, because a lot of our history is white violence and xenophobia and xenophobia, and that is just the reason why we're here today. Next, we need to get educated and really educate ourselves. And the first thing you can do to educate yourself is to listen without always responding. Just listen. Diversify your feeds. There are so many books and articles and podcasts. Seek out knowledge. The knowledge is everywhere. So actively seek it out as much as you can. And as white folks, we need to use our privilege to amplify voices of marginalized communities, not speak over them. And a big part of this is accepting criticism and getting uncomfortable. And don't stop when you get uncomfortable. When you're getting uncomfortable, that means you're learning and you're unlearning, and that's where the change happens. Because white feelings and white comfort is never more important than the lives we are losing. You are never too old or too young to learn and do better. That is not an excuse. And it's better to be not perfect and show up than not at all. So thank you all for showing up today. This moment is important, and what we're doing here today is important, but what you do after today is where the real change happens. Thank you.